So with that, I think what I'd like to do is, Lori, maybe we would pivot to you to talk a little bit around how Teva really went on a journey. I mean, I know you're going to get into the details of this, but clearly the organization was certainly facing some challenges and a need to really pivot and think differently about your third-party due diligence program. So I thought maybe it would be helpful if we started there and you could tell your story around Teva.
Thank you, Kris. Well, I was definitely in that 34% of people who didn't think we were doing it quite right. What I knew was that we were spending an enormous amount of money, that it was taking a long, long time to get back results, and that the business was standing on the sideline, kind of looking into the process and not understanding it. So what could be worse? Spending too much money, taking too much time, and nobody's happy about it. So what I thought is, isn't there a better way of approaching this? I went to 2 consulting firms, E&Y was one of them, and said, really, I want a disruptive move in this space. I want a game changer. I don't want to do this faster and cheaper necessarily, unless there's there's a better option. I really want to think about it radically differently. So EY came back with a phenomenal proposal on looking at this radically differently. Now, what that looks like is getting the business a lot more involved, and having them select their vendors or their third parties on the basis of the risk profile, and choosing one that had already been vetted, so they could go. We would actually skip the due diligence process of old, and getting them really involved in the business. What I said was, I either want to spend the same amount of money and get a much better result, or I want to spend a lot less money and do it a lot faster. Well, at the end of the day, what we're doing is spending less money, getting the results a lot faster, and the business loves this process. They have control over it. One of the things I like the most about it is the change management aspects of it. So for example, there's an old adage in change management that you make what you want people to do easy and rewarding and kind of fun, and you make what you don't want them to do difficult and painful and hard. And so this is truly an excellent example of that. So we have put them in a situation where if they select a vendor that has already been vetted, and we know that they're a reputable third party, then they can skip the due diligence process and go directly to our procurement process and start engaging this third party. If they want to choose their own third party that's potentially not been pre-vetted, not in our system, not available online to them, then they kind of have to go through the old process, which is a little harder, a little longer, a little more expensive, and certainly not as easy. So no big surprise, it's been successful. We have actually had our business partners going into the system and choosing vendors that we have already pre-vetted and determined to be, our third parties determined to be at a level of acceptable level. The thing I like about it is we're now beginning to see other applications for this. So we're looking at trade sanctions, and is there an application for this in trade sanctions? And the business is all on board with this because they already like the process. They like their control of it. They like the speed of it. And so therefore, I think it's been just beyond my expectations in terms of success. And we have lowered the cost, we have increased the speed, and we have integrated the business into the process. What could be better?